That's what happened. All right, Pima GOP real quick. So locally, we talked about the Arizona GOP. Think about last night. We had their party was at the Sheraton. Martha McSally had her party at the Radisson Suites. Fernanda and Tanner were over at the Viscount Suite Hotel. Allie Miller was at a private house up in the Northwest Side in her district. And to me, it was just a beautiful example of where this party is at. It's fragmented. And you have people who didn't want to be at the Pima GOP party because the Pima GOP did very little to help anybody. They're in a really bad situation over there. And I will tell you that all the things they're supposed to be doing, okay, like they should be registering voters. Do you see any get out registering voters stuff? No. Did you see any real actual get out the vote stuff? No. Observe elections. I got this moron Benny White is testifying for the county. All right? And we have basically you have candidates who feel like there's no help here.
What's the point?
There's no help here.
And Chris, contrast of what we just saw from the Obama administration. It comes down to campaigns. It comes down to getting your vote out. It comes down to knocking on doors, registering voters, and working on redistricting maps. That's the nuts and bolts. Like Vince Lombardi said in the play we went to on Saturday, Ed and I said, it's blocking and tackling, blocking and tackling, blocking and tackling. It's more than just dumping a bunch of media messages on TV. It's getting out and running a campaign that knows how to win a race.
Yep.
You got a community organizer-in-chief that knows what he's doing. You got Chicago politicians that know what they're doing. They've been doing this since the Mayor Daley days, and they did it on a national level.
Yep.
And they schooled it. And they absolutely schooled it. They picked 10 key states or 9 key states and about 70 key counties, and they just owned it. But it's beautiful.
But locally, it's a very similar situation. Outplayed, outfoxed, outworked.
Right.
All right, I got the same old faces over there. It's like a Kiwanis Club meeting that doesn't even get charitable stuff done. They all sit around, they moan, they talk. Oh, we should do this, we should do that. Right? You know something? It's time to either the Pima GOP needs to be deconstructed and rebuilt, new leadership across the board, or don't have a party. Because you're there to win elections.
That's it. That's all the reason.
Stop it. Yeah. All your little meetings and lunches and all this stuff. You guys can all have lunches and you can complain about stuff and let's have a raffle and we're going to give away a knitted American flag pot holder. Beautiful. That is all secondary stuff to winning elections, ensuring election integrity. I don't see that going on here. I have candidates. Look at the candidates. I got Fernando Gonzalez, a Republican Latino small business owner, abandoned by the GOP. Tanner Bell, 29-year-old stud, abandoned by the GOP. Allie Miller, okay, she's had some help from some of the people in the GOP, but nothing from nothing. All right? So I got a lady who comes from Honeywell. She's got an MBA. She's a fresh face, comes out of her, abandoned by the GOP. Abandoned. That's why. Martha McSally. I got a fighter pilot. I got this lady who did all these things. She comes in, abandoned by the GOP.
Antonori Ted vote. Yeah.
All these people, all right? So everyone, okay, the Dems. All right, they were all at the Marriott last night because they're all still, no matter what happens. And do they do things great over there? No, not necessarily. But they have party discipline. All right, no one gets, there is no party discipline at the GOP. Look at Steve Kay. This guy runs around like Charles Manson. He can endorse every D in the world. There's no repercussions. There's no nothing. You know what I mean? He just walks around and goes, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, you're a donkey? No. Oh, you're a Rottweiler? Are you a Democrat? Sure. I'm endorsing you. Great job, Rottweiler. And nothing comes from the GOP. They don't say a damn word about this guy. They let this guy shoot his mouth off on Arizona Illustrated, and he sits there and goes, oh, this is the party that says rape's a natural thing and all this stuff. Just boom, 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 boom. He says it all the time.
You're right.
And no one says anything. Right. I know Bruce tried to get him a couple of times, but no one else in the party says anything. Carolyn Cox, very nice lady. She's not going to say anything to these people.
No discipline, Chris. Blocking and tackling. Vince Lombardi. Come on.
You can just Bob walk up. That guy should have been disowned 4 years ago. He walks around. I mean, really, I'm looking at the Nancy Young Wright endorsements. I'm proudly endorsed by Republican Mayor Bob Walkup. What? Bob can do whatever he wants. He's a moron. But Pete Hirschberger, Steve Kozachik, and Mayor Walkup are constantly brought out by Jeff Rogers to beat up the Republican brand, and we just say, wow, that's great. Have a zucchini muffin at the next mixer. Really? So, hey, Carolyn, I think you're a very nice lady. Thanks for paying the rent at the office. Stop.
The infighting has been tremendous, like in any party. That happens at a national. Look at
it's got to go away. Either don't have a Pima GOP or blow the damn thing up and rebuild it. I need the next generation of folks come in.
Look how long it took us to get to sequester Joe Sweeney. I mean, he was running for 13 seats.
I'm a proud Republican. Let's have Nazi bikini babes walking around the town.
Took us like 6 election cycles.
Show really Republicans?
Even a cricket.
So here you go. I got this slate of humans out there running for office. Yes. Good people.
Future candidates to Congress. Future candidates to run for bigger office. Future.
And we abandon them.
It's the farm team. It's the AAAs working its way up. The Democrats do such a good job. They're running them at school boards, and they're running them at city councils, and they're moving them up to Congress. They have the bench moving. We can't get out of our own way.
Fernando Gonzalez, I'm telling you, Republican Latino, small business guy with a beautiful family who decides to put it all on hold to run for office. Abandoned. I mean, we got people showing up to events. Some of these business guys too, Republicans. All right, and they're coming in with oh yeah, where do I pay my donation? And then they never show up on a list. What are you guys doing? It's like a comedy. It's like a Larry David show.
Oh, buddy.
I mean, this is where we're at, guys. You got outfoxed again.
At the national level, local level, you got outfoxed.
And here's the other thing. This is the worst part. When you have these folks who are putting their lives on hold for anywhere between 6 and 12 months, and they can't even get the basics from their party. We can't give you that voter list. What?
You're talking to one, buddy. Did it. Been there. Saw it. Experienced it. Been there.
You know what I mean?
Got it.
Play these games together that we're going to have lunches and meetings and and whatever. If we're not in this to win.
Right.
If you're not in it to win, that's okay. Why don't we just call it the Republican Tea Club, and we can have teddy bears sitting in seats and some Earl Grey and some crumpets and cucumber sandwiches and do that, because that's the equivalency of what we're doing. I'm not saying that did Obama and the crew run an amazing campaign? Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, blocked and tackled, man. They did.
Jeff Rogers job. Jeff Rogers is a miscreant, but him and his crew keep doing it all the time. They do get out the vote. They get the votes in. They draw the maps. They draw the maps. They do all these things. We don't say a word.
Right.
It's like, thank you, sir. May I have another whipping from you? Oh. You have a cat of 9 tails across my back. Could you make it 10 tails? Maybe put some metal tips on it so it really hurts. That's the Pima GOP right now. So
what's the odds of it changing?
I can't believe Tia Gloria's on the phone with a chill call.
Oh, no.
Let's go pay some bills, Ed. It's 790-2040. Wake up, Tucson, and if you're the next generation of GOPers, you got to do something. You got to go either just, I'm telling you, it's got to be blown up and restarted, or just stop. Let's have the cactus party. We'll come up with a different one. Wake up, Tucson. 1030 KVOI, The Voice, 790-20.
Red, white, and blue.
Is there a place for a moderate Republican in this party right now?
We'll see what happens to Steve. Apparently, the party leadership, those in control right now, have said that there's not.
Brian Miller knows what Kozachik is up against. He, too, ruffled feathers in the party establishment, and it cost him his post as party chair.
What you have here is a party apparatus that is turned and unleashed on people on elected officials and party officials who don't necessarily toe the party line.
Critical of her, I think. Well, what she had was an identifiable voting bloc that represented the same extreme wing of the party that was supporting Sean Collins. She made a campaign out of misunderstanding the county debt system, over one half of which is to fund clean water, federal clean water regulations as a result of the having to run a sewer system, and more of that for county HERF debt. If that's your mantra and you don't get your facts straight, and you called her to task on that several times during the campaign, and she would never come and confront you on it, and then even be willing to learn the data, that doesn't bode well for being willing to step up to the plate and say, you know what, I made a mistake and I'm willing to learn. The good news, though, is that there were 11,000 votes on the Republican side that rejected her and are now in a position to step up to the plate and look across party lines and take a hard, serious look at Nancy Ewing Wright, who is a quality person and deserves a serious look. She accused me of something that I find personally insulting.
It hasn't stopped there. Kazanchik tells 9 on Your Side he's been called a demo rat, among other things you wouldn't want to hear on television. So we wanted to know if a moderate is still welcome in the GOP.
I guess we'll find that out. You know, if the executive committee of this GOP locally wants to take some action, as they did with Brian Miller, they're certainly free to do that, as far as I'm concerned. Be careful what you ask for, though, because if you keep driving moderates out of this party, you're going to wind up with a fringe party that's going to continue to lose elections.